In the world of pickup truck, some decisions are more than just business. They're a direct challenge to a brand's very soul. In late 2023, Ram Trucks made one such decision. With the unveiling of its redesigned 2025 Ram 1500, the company announced the unthinkable. The legendary HEMI V8, the thundering heart of its most popular truck for 2 decades, was gone. It was replaced by a technologically advanced, more powerful, and more efficient twin-turbocharged inline-6 engine family called the Hurricane. On paper, it was a logical, forward-thinking move. In the hearts of the Ram faithful, it was heresy. The backlash was swift, loud, and unrelenting. Forums lit up, social media channels raged, and a clear message was sent to Ram's headquarters. You've made a terrible mistake. Now, in a stunning and almost unprecedented reversal, Ram has officially confirmed the news that is echoing from job sites to boat ramps across the country. The HEMI is back. In a move that blends corporate humility with brilliant high-speed engineering, Ram is officially bringing the 5.7-liter HEMI V8 back for the 2026 Ram 1500 lineup. We got it wrong, and we're fixing it, admits a candid Tim Kuniskis, the CEO of Ram. This is the story of how customer passion forced the hand of a global automaker, and how a dedicated team of engineers pulled off a miracle to right a perceived wrong. The logic and the backlash. Why the HEMI vanished. To understand the comeback, one must first understand the departure. Ram's decision to shelve the HEMI wasn't made in a vacuum. The entire automotive industry is in a seismic shift, driven by tightening emissions regulations and a relentless pursuit of fuel efficiency. The formula is clear. Smaller displacement, fewer cylinders, and forced induction, turbocharging or supercharging. Ford found immense success with its EcoBoost V6 engines, proving that truck buyers would in time accept fewer cylinders if the power and capability were there. Ram's answer was the 3.0-liter Hurricane inline-6, a modern marvel of an engine. It offered 2 compelling flavors: a standard output SO version with 420 horsepower and 469 lb-ft of torque, and a high output HO variant boasting a staggering 540 horsepower and 521 lb-ft of torque. Both versions handily outmuscled the outgoing 5.7-liter HEMI's 395 horsepower and 410 lb-ft of torque. They promised better fuel economy and a smoother, more refined power delivery. It was, by every metric, a better engine, but truck ownership, especially for V8 loyalists, is not just about metrics. It's about emotion. It's about the deep guttural rumble on a cold start that no inline-6 can replicate. It's about the perceived reliability of a large, naturally aspirated engine versus a more complex twin-turbo setup. The HEMI name itself is an icon, a piece of American automotive heritage. For many, taking the HEMI out of the Ram 1500 was like taking the soul out of the machine. The return of the kingmaker and a data-be-damned mandate, enter Tim Kuniskis. Having previously led the Dodge brand during its golden era of Hellcats and Demons, Kuniskis is a car guy executive who understands the primal connection between machine and owner. After a brief 6-month retirement, he was called back to lead Ram in December 2023. The first question on everyone's lips was, "Are you bringing the HEMI back?" Initially, Kuniskis gave the measured corporate response. He needed to see the data. Was the dip in Ram sales truly due to the absence of the V8, or was it a consequence of a messy 2025 model year launch where production bottlenecks at the plant, which was also launching the new heavy-duty models, slowed deliveries to a crawl? But as the weeks turned into months, the chorus of discontent from customers and dealers grew deafening. The data, it turned out, was secondary to the passion. In a remarkable shift in tone, Kuniskis now says, "Data be damned." It was clear that the voice of the customer was the only metric that mattered. This wasn't a sudden epiphany. Kuniskis reveals the mission began the moment he returned. "I cut short my retirement on December 9th, he states. On December 10th, we kicked off the study on how to bring the HEMI back in the Ram as fast as humanly possible. Operation F-15, the 6-month engineering miracle. the team quickly discovered a colossal roadblock. The redesigned 2025 Ram 1500 was built on a brand new electrical architecture, the truck's digital nervous system, that was never designed to communicate with the older HEMI V8. The initial engineering assessment was grim. It would take at least 18 months to re-engineer the systems, a lifetime in the fast-moving auto market. Unwilling to accept this, Kuniskis assembled a special task force, codenamed F-15, led by the legendary former SRT chief engineer, Darrell Smith. This team was tasked with the seemingly impossible: slash the timeline and get the HEMI back into production. Smith and his team performed what can only be described as engineering wizardry. The key was a clever workaround, a hack, courtesy of the HEMI's other home within the Stellantis family, the Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. These large SUVs use a version of the same body-on-frame architecture as the Ram 1500. Crucially, they had already been engineered to pair the 5.7-liter HEMI with its e-torque mild hybrid system to the new generation electrical architecture. Instead of going from one architecture to a new architecture, we went to a different version of that same architecture, which made it possible to do in 6 months. Kuniskis explains, the Jeep became the enabler, the Rosetta Stone that allowed the HEMI to speak the new Ram's digital language without needing a completely new time-consuming calibration. This shortcut slashed the timeline from 18 months down to just 6. HEMI-powered. 2026 Ram 1500s will now be rolling into dealerships this summer. Placing your order, pricing and powertrain philosophy. The HEMI's return isn't just a symbolic gesture, it's a tangible option for buyers. The 5.7-liter HEMI, complete with the e-torque mild hybrid system and a standard sport exhaust, will be offered on a wide range of 2026 Ram 1500 trims. Tradesman, Bighorn, Lone Star, Express, Warlock, Laramie, Limited, and Longhorn. It will be positioned as a $200 option on mid-tier trims like the Laramie and Rebel, where the Hurricane is sold as standard. On the luxurious Limited and Longhorn models, which come standard with the Hurricane high output, the HEMI will be a no-charge option, a direct choice between ultimate power and classic V8 character. Full pricing for the lower trims is still pending, but it presents a fascinating choice for consumers. Pay more for the HEMI, which is less powerful and less efficient than the standard Hurricane, purely for the sound and feel. This decision highlights the two competing philosophies at play. The Hurricane is for the buyer who values modern performance and peak numbers. The HEMI is for the traditionalist, the loyalist, the driver who believes the soundtrack is as important as the spec sheet. The unanswered questions, RHO and the ghost of TRX. Noticeably absent from the HEMI list are the two pinnacle trims, the luxurious Tungsten and the off-road performance RHO, both of which will rely exclusively on the high-output Hurricane engine. Could the HEMI be added later to the Ford Raptor fighting RHO? Kuniskis is hesitant. I'm not sure, he says. It's a for sure I want to do it, but it's not a for sure that it's a good idea. The concern is that the 5.7 liters 395 horsepower simply may not be enough to meet the extreme performance expectations for a truck in that class. And what of the legendary supercharged TRX, the 702 horsepower monster that terrorized the truck world? While Ram loves halo vehicles like the TRX, Kuniskis confirms that bringing back the supercharged 6.2-liter HEMI is not a viable option. Its dismal fuel economy makes it a compliance nightmare, and the engineering challenge to integrate it into the new architecture would be, as he puts it, a whole different animal. For now, the reign of the TRX is over, a symbol of protest and a bet on loyalty. To mark this victory for the V8 faithful, the old HEMI logo will not return. In its place is a new badge, affectionately dubbed the symbol of protest within Ram. It depicts a stylized V8 engine block with exaggerated exhaust pipes and a ram's head, a bold declaration of powertrain pride that will adorn the front fender of every V8 powered truck. Kuniskis is betting that this pride will translate into sales. He predicts the take rate for the HEMI will settle somewhere between 25 and 40%, significantly higher than Ford's roughly 25% V8 take rate in the F1 150. He believes the power of the HEMI name and the loyalty of his followers will drive demand. In the end, this entire saga is a powerful lesson in brand identity. Ram learned that its identity is inextricably linked to the rumble of 8 cylinders. Nothing beats the cold start of a HEMI, says Mark Trossel, the head of Ram exterior design. It's a simple statement, but it captures the entire emotional core of this story. For a price, and thanks to a monumental effort, Ram customers can once again hear that sound for themselves. The king is back.